Hey everyone, it's me, Sarah.
And I'm Rocky, and with our powers combined, we are
Savage Shitsy Pins.
Now we got something a little different for you today. We've been tagged in a pin tag, which is something I just learned exists.
A pin tag is where a creator will give you a list of different pins that you need to show. Melissa over at Geeking Out with Melly Mel created this awesome pin tag, and it's all about Disney collecting and pin trading.
It's fun.
I loved me some pin trading.
Looking through the list and trying to find the pins that match these categories was way more fun than it should have been.
We were nominated by Cameron and Daniel over at Day Tripping Disney. We will link both of their YouTube channels in the description below. We recommend going and checking both their channels out. They are totally awesome channels. We had to collect pins for 12 different categories in this pin tag. Should we get started?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Category number 1. Humble beginnings. Pins that started off the pin trade. The earliest memories of pins that we have. Sarah, would you like to kick us off with the first pin?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't actually know what my very first pin was. However, I have a Goofy pin from the California Adventure grand opening. So it says established 2001. And I know I got this on one of my trips back in the day. I assume that this is one of my first pins. I really wish I could remember my very first one, but that was 19 years ago. So I just don't remember. But I'm gonna use this one for my humble beginnings because I know that this has been in my possession for 19 years.
Mine is a little different. Let's take a little trip back to 2016. It's the night after our wedding, the day before we head out to our honeymoon in Disney World. This is a time where ignorance was bliss. Young Rocky didn't know what pin trading was.
He didn't know that I had a hidden box of Disney pins in the closet.
My grandmother, as a parting gift, gives us a lanyard with pins to trade in the park, which is something I wasn't aware of. And that's when Sarah brought out said box and let me know that she had a bit of an obsession after vows had already been exchanged. So I didn't really get into it until about day 2 when we were in the park of our honeymoon. Watching Sarah pin trade with all the cast members, I started getting sucked in. I was like, I didn't have anything to trade at the time, so I was just watching for her. And then it struck. There's a pin set that I really wanted, and it was really cool. At least I thought it was at the time. And it is the Epcot logos. And I thought it was amazing that in one trip I was able to get all of these pins. Sad, I also learned later what scrappers were, and every single one of those was scrappers. So I'm actually working to get that whole set legitimately. That's the only one I have that's real.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But we got one, and it's a good reminder of our honeymoon.
Yeah, it is. And it also is, the gateway drug.
So I also want to mention that pin is from the 2015 Hidden Mickey's Wave A set.
Should we move on to category number 2?
Okay, so number 2 is collector's item. Show one pin that represents your main pin collection and let us know how many pins you own. Ooh, good.
So I am not the avid collector that Sarah is. I'm just getting into the kiddie end of the pool. And I probably have 300 pins. And just like Star Wars pins that mostly Sarah has got for me, but I have quite a bit of pins now. Sarah has thousands upon thousands of pins.
I wouldn't say thousands upon thousands.
I would. And they're stuffed in every nook and cranny of our household. Everywhere you look, there is some sort of pin or traces that a pin has been there. A random pin back here, a cellophane wrapper over there.
I had a realization the other day that I'm always like an arm's length away from a Mickey pin back. Like literally, there's 2 of them right here. Always within an arm's distance. But literally like there's pins up here and pins right here and pins over here.
There's pins inside that Aladdin movie case. There's pins inside that book. Would you have a panic attack if you're like taking a road trip down Highway 66 and there's no pin backs in the car and you realize that?
Well, I'd probably have some in the car because my purse has pins in it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay, so your collector's item. It's a really impressive pin for being new to pin trading.
Yeah, and I just got this, and I mentioned this in a previous video. I got it from our quarantine pin exchange, which if you would like to get in on the ground floor of wave 2 of that pin exchange, follow us on Instagram. We'll link that down below in the description. This pin was given to me by my pen secret quarantine Santa.
Pin pal!
My pen pal, Brock, and it is an Acme pin that features Han Solo and Chewbacca. So my primary collection is Star Wars, but chiefly Chewbacca. I go after Chewbacca pins more than other Star Wars pins. This one is kind of the best Chewbacca pin I have. It's pretty cool.
It's a really fun looking pin.
Yeah, it's
super cute.
It's very cartoony. It's LE250. I'm pretty sure I can pick up satellite reception on it. It's so big.
Okay, so my collector's item is also going to be an Acme pin. It is this absolutely giant Little Mermaid Ariel and Flounder with the golden undersea castle. This is an LE300 and it is from the Treasured Collection pin event in 2018, which I did not attend, but there's some really, really cool Acme pins that came out from that event. Number 3.
Encore!
This pin represents your secondary pin collection. What's your secondary pin collection?
Well, I kind of only have really one collection. So I'm going to say my secondary collection, and I feel like I'm cheating here, is Star Wars.
So collection number 1 is Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Collection number 2 is all other Star Wars.
Yeah, all
Okay.
other Star Wars. I have a thing for Star Wars ships, though.
Right.
Like
Specifically.
the vehicles of Star Wars would probably be the thing that I like above other pins.
Right.
And the one that I got for this is this cool 50-ton Death Star pin that Sarah picked up in the park for me that has a built-in like desk stand, so I can set it down and hold down papers, or if I needed to hold down the end of a tent on a windy day. It's that heavy, but it is pretty amazing. It is LE6000, so they use that term limited edition very liberally with this one. Doesn't make it any less cool.
My secondary collection is Aladdin, and not specifically Aladdin, but like any characters from that movie. Actually, I think out of all the characters from that movie, I have the least number of Aladdin pins because they all kind of look the same.
It's primarily Jasmine is your like number 1, then Genie, right?
Jasmine and Genie, yeah. And then I have a lot of Jafar pins too, and I have some Iago pins, and I have some Raja pins. So the pin that I picked for this one is the DEC Water Tower Walt Disney Company Genie pin, and this is a LE250 and came out last year, 2019. I think there's like 5 or 6 in this set. This is the only one I wanted, but it's really cute. It's pin on pin. I like that you can like see Mickey Mouse in the top too.
Our next category is Home Sweet Home. So we picked pins that represent our home park. Our home park is Disneyland, as it is just a short plane ride away from us.
The Home Sweet Home pin that I picked is an anniversary pin. It is the 60th anniversary of the monorail, the submarine, and the Matterhorn. I gotta remember.
It's the biggest one on the pin.
And this pin is celebrating the 60th anniversary. It's the pass holder pin, so you had to be a pass holder to be able to buy it. The Matterhorn cars are even like on here.
It's almost a Bob Gurr pin. Hashtag Bob Gurr.
He didn't do submarine.
He didn't do submarine, but he did monorail and
Matterhorn, yeah. Oh man, that'd be cool if they did an Autopia, monorail, and Matterhorn like Bob Gurr pin.
Ooh, Bob Gurr.
I'd buy that.
Disney, make it happen.
So this pin is an LE2000 from 2019.
My Home Sweet Home pin, it reminds me of Disneyland, is this cool Star Wars Galaxy's Edge elemental lightsaber pin. It's easily the most expensive pin I have in my collection. It cost me $200 in the park. However, it did come with a cool lightsaber I got to build and an experience. Cool pin, and it reminds me of Galaxy's Edge, and I wish I could be there right now. All right, Sarah, what do we have next?
Traders Keepers. Show us your most recent pin trade.
As of right now, I don't do a lot of pin trading online.
You only did it in the park when we were there.
Yeah, only with lanyards, with cast members. So with that being said, Sarah has done trading on my behalf, and she got me this really cool T-70 Resistance X-Wing.
So my last pin trade was pretty epic. I actually traded with somebody from the UK.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We traded 3 different LE pins, and I am real stoked about all of them. First one is the Indiana Jones Adventure 25th Anniversary of Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Next, we traded for the new Parade Magic Happens, again, pass holder pin. Ellie 4000 on this one. I can't wait to see this parade. They came out with 2 pins. There was this limited edition one for pass holders, and then a limited release one that was more widely available, and you didn't have to be a pass holder for it. So now I have both of them. Third one. This is the one I'm most excited about in this trade. This is a 45th anniversary Space Mountain Walt Disney World cast exclusive pin.
I'm speechless.
This is an Ellie 500.
Next up, we have Artist Choice, our favorite fantasy pins. I didn't realize I had so many fantasy Star Wars pins that Sarah had gotten me recently. And I know you have a ton. So this was really hard to choose. There are some really creative fantasy pin artists out there.
Yeah.
So what I picked, again, and no surprise, it's Star Wars, but it's a character I don't think it's enough representation in pins, but she's easily one of the most stable and strong-minded characters in the entire series, and that's Leia. And I have this giant LE50. I wish I knew who the pin artist was. If you out there know, tell me in the comments, because I would like to see more of their work. But it features several iconic scenes. Leia with the blaster at the very beginning, her being interrogated by Darth Vader, and the romantic pre-kiss moment with Han Solo down at the bottom. And it's all in the shape of Leia's silhouette. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's a really gorgeous pin. That was one of the first fantasy pins I ever got, actually. So my favorite fantasy pin is much smaller. And actually, Rocky got this one for me a couple years ago. And it is this tattooed Ariel pin. She's got part of your world tattooed on her arm. And then she has, there's like flounder and a ship. She has her nose pierced.
And skull and crossbones, pirate flag shirt. Yeah. She's a baddie.
I love this pin. And this was from Pin Hippie. And we will link them down below.
Yeah, that's one of 2 pins. I also got her an Alice that's pretty cool as well. Next up is probably my favorite category of the whole list. It is wild card. Something that doesn't fit in with our normal collections. Just an out there pin that's near and dear to us. So let's take a look at what we got there.
My wild card is a Stitch pin. I know a lot of people have huge Stitch collections. He's all over the place. So I really only have this one Stitch pin, and I love it because he is playing a tourist. So he has this little, he's like his Mickey ears on, he's got his ice cream cones, and he has a Mickey Mouse t-shirt.
My wildcard pin, if I had it my way, would be my primary collection, but alas, there's not that many pins and they're super hard to find. But my favorite movie of all time that's Disney is Treasure Planet. And I have this really cool WDI profile of Captain Amelia that is probably the grail pin in my whole collection. Not probably, it is the grail pin of my whole collection. And I only have 2 Treasure Planet pins. Both of them happen to be Amelia. So I have this one, and I have the Disney soda fountain.
The PTD.
The PTD pin of Captain Amelia with the ice cream cone. And that is the entirety of my Treasure Planet collection.
And this one came out in April of 2018.
Yeah, and it's a LE250, I believe. This next category is members only for an exclusive pin trading event, which I have never been to, so I don't have one to contribute. Do you?
So I've never been to one either. However, I do have a lot of pins from trading events that have happened. So I actually have 2 pins from the Open House event. Get it?
Oh, I do get it.
So it's O-PIN. And it was a Haunted Mansion pin event back in 2009. These are LE250s that came in a box set that was all of the Pet Cemetery tombstones.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have 2. I think there's maybe 5 more that I need. They're really funky. I like them a lot. Definitely like some of my most interesting Haunted Mansion pins. Number 9. Let's get festive. Rocky mentioned earlier that we went to Walt Disney World for a honeymoon, and we were there for the Food and Wine Festival in 2016. Yep.
I'm hungry.
Our day in Epcot, we made a mistake and had made a dinner reservation because we were on our honeymoon. So I had made all these dinner reservations, like nice dinner reservations, like some of the nicest restaurants in each park while we were there. And we ended up just eating at all of the booths all day long, and then it was too late to cancel our dinner reservation, so we ended up going, and I think we like split one appetizer. I have this super cool Kronk and Yzma pin from the Food and Wine Festival in 2016, and I love it. There's this little rubber aspect to it, and it also has a moving aspect as well.
My festive pin is from a Disneyland After Dark event for 90s night. It featured all of the Disney afternoon characters and a Goofy movie.
Powerline was there.
Powerline was there. Max's Powerline was there.
Sorry, yeah, Powerline wasn't there, but Max's Powerline was there.
I know that Disney has a pretty strict rule about adults dressed in costume, but there was actually someone that got in dressed up like Powerline, and he looked incredible. One of my favorite memories is while standing in line in Indiana Jones, someone was wearing a Powerline shirt, and Sarah randomly started singing Eye to Eye, and then the entire line joined in. Mm-hmm. It was pretty great.
Yeah, that was an epic moment. That was like Disney magic at its best.
The 90s night was super cool. It was a little uncoordinated as far as the amount of features that they had. The lines were really long to actually get autographs and pictures with characters. Mm-hmm. That being said, the theme was really cool. We got really cool fanny packs, and we got these really cool pins.
One of my favorite parts about this pin is the edition size.
The edition size is it 1990? It is 1990. Yeah. Limited edition, 1990. Yeah. So our next category is vintage pins, our oldest pins. And I'm really new. In fact, I didn't even know pin trading was a thing until 2016, so I don't really have any old pins in my collection. So Sarah's going to be pulling all the weight on this category. Honestly,
I think the oldest pin that's in your collection you already showed, and it's the Epcot 2015 Hidden Mickey.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. We looked at a ton of his pins thinking that they would be older, but they were all like 2017, 2018. So I, on the other hand, have a pin. It's still in its plastic, so I know that the picture that you're seeing right now doesn't look great, but I do want to keep it in its plastic. This is a Tomorrowland brooch style pin, and it's from 1986. I did some research on this pin. I've had it for a while. It was given to me by a friend because I love Tomorrowland. And I knew it was from 1986, but I kind of looked it up. And there were two types of this pin that were made. And the one that's pictured up here was actually pulled really quickly because it was too pointy. And somebody I assume somebody I don't know, poked themselves or something like that. So they came out with another version of it for Walt Disney World. Because this one was Disneyland, and it had this rounded rocket ship instead of this pointy one. So I have the one that got pulled from production.
So is that the first recorded pinjury at a Disney park?
That might be. That might be the first recorded in history pinjury.
Disney pin pinjury.
Disney pin pinjury.
Our next category is Pin Bazaar, things you have purchased on Instagram live sales. I have not participated in an Instagram live sale. I have someone that does that for me. So with that, Sarah, why don't you take this one away?
One of my most recent Instagram live sales was this DSSH on the go Judy Hopps. It's such a pretty pin. It's so big too. I love this pin. Her little cop car.
Yeah, that whole collection is pretty awesome. You have most of them, don't you?
I have all of them. So this was the last one that I needed for the set. There's 5 in the set. Okay, our last and final one. The final category is Masterpiece. And this is a completed mystery pin set.
For my mystery pin set, it's actually not Star Wars.
What?
Yeah. I have a intellectual property that's not space related. Well, it is space related.
It is 100% space related.
Yeah. But I really like...
Not 100%. Okay. Sorry, that was a lie.
Yeah, but there is a fair amount of space stuff in it. I have a love for the Marvel movies, like so many of you out there do as well. And when I saw this Cuties pin collection, I couldn't resist. They're super colorful, they're a lot of fun, and it has a good mix of characters.
I like the art style in those. It's the kawaii art.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. They're really cute.
It's to not be undone. Sarah has not one, not two, but thrice the mystery pin sets to show off here.
Okay, well, I picked 3 because I feel like they all go together. So I have the Walt Disney World and the Disneyland mascot set, as well as the Fantasyland football set. All 3 of these were from mystery bags. And I'm really proud that I collected all of these because this is a lot of pins.
I kind of want to start a Fantasyland football league. Question for you. If you had to pick a team, what team do you root for?
I love the Hollywood Tower bellhops.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I was going to pick that you were going to go with the Space Mountain Blast, which sounds like a Mountain Dew flavor at Taco Bell.
The other one I really like is Toad Hall Mayhem.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
I have a secret love for that ride. Can't get enough of Mr.
Everybody
Toad
has a secret love for that ride.
Can you guess which team would be my team?
It's the Star Tours Troopers.
You would think, but it's
Wait! G-Force Records Rockers?
Ooh, that's another good guess.
Okay, but that's not it either. Okay.
You know my taste well. These are things that should be my favorite.
Right. I legitimately don't know if it's not one of those two.
I think I would root for the Tiki Room Harmony.
Oh, that's really good too. Yeah. I like that one. Who would you root for? Let us know in the comments below. That was it. That was the pin tag. We did it. We did them all.
It was so much fun.
It was. That was a blast. So, thank you again, Cameron and Daniel, for nominating us. We really appreciate it. Definitely go check out their channel.
So we're going to call out a few people that we've been interacting with on YouTube. The Disney community for YouTubers is really great. They've been really friendly and welcoming to our channel as it's new, so we also would like to share the love. We would like to nominate Camille's Disney Mania,
The Siskateers,
and Dan's Video Mosaic. Well, that's a wrap. That's all we got for you today. This was a ton of fun. I wouldn't mind doing more of these.
Yeah, this was a blast. I really liked going through my pins and talking about pins that I don't get to talk about very often because maybe they're locked up in a binder or things like that. So it was really fun to think about my collection and kind of dive in and find all this stuff. So thanks again for the nomination. We had a blast.
Yeah, I don't think when we started this whole YouTube thing that I was ever going to talk about the Epcot pin set on video, but here we are.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
fun.
Well, thanks everyone for watching.
If you enjoyed this, hit that like button below, and for more content, subscribe. Bye.
See you later.
I'm dancing with you this time. We don't have any music, so I think we're dancing to 2 different songs. I'm doing like a conga line by myself. And you're doing like what I used to dance like in high school at dances. Smile, and then the only thing you're missing? Finger guns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can't dance.